guys. Very pleased with our football team, total team effort. Can't compliment our coaching staff enough for the game planning. I want to give the credit to the players. They went out there and got it done in a hostile environment. Give credit to Texas. They're a very, very good football team. They fought the whole way. It was a 60-minute game, which we knew it was going to be. Some of the things that we're really proud of, 16 explosive plays. One out of every 4 offensive staff plays, every 4 offensive plays was an explosive play. Outstanding. Outstanding by the offense. 3 receivers over 100 yards. The play of Joe Burrow was phenomenal. That 3rd and 17 play, Clyde made a great block on a blitzing linebacker. Joe squeezed up in there, threw off on 1 foot. Justin made a tremendous catch, and yards after the catch. What a great play. You know, I'm always going to remember that play. What a outstanding play for the Tigers. We needed it. At that point in the game, we needed the offense to score 1 more touchdown, and we did. We went for 2, and they almost got the onside kick. It was a very close call. So, very tight game. The 2 goal line stands by our defense in the first quarter, the first half, saved us. They could have been a difference in the ball game. I thought our guys played very good in the first half. Disappointed the way we played in the second half, let them score the way they did. We're going to get it fixed. The good thing about it is we won a big game. We've still got a lot of things to fix. 3 field goals by our freshmen on the special teams. Our special teams was stellar again. And I'm very proud of Coach Mack and Cade York and the whole special teams. Looking forward to Northwestern, the place that I got my degree, and I'm very, very appreciative of that. The best thing that ever happened at Northwestern, I got my degree, and I networked. And I met some people, and I got to get into college coaching, and for that, I'm very, very appreciative. Not gonna be appreciative about a Saturday night, but I'm appreciative. Coach Laird's doing a tremendous job. His daddy was our coach. He's a great young coach. I wish him the best to 2 Saturdays when they play us and when they play the Cowboys. But he's a spread offensive guy. He's trying to get it going. Didn't have a lot of success this week. He's 3-4 defense, good on special teams. This is going to be about LSU. This is going to be about fixing LSU this week. Really going back to the fundamentals today, looking on the film, the things, the alignments, the assignments, the techniques that we got to fit and get better this week. We got to take another step this week. Any questions?
Hey, I guess we just gotta ask first, you mentioned that some guys had injuries, some guys had ankles and knees.
Yeah.
Do you think, is anybody you're gonna kind of hold out from practice this week after what was a
Yeah.
pretty grueling game on Saturday night?
You're not gonna see Glenn Logan or Rashard Lawrence. I don't know if any of them are gonna be ready for the game. Caleb is questionable. He'll be in the booth. You'll see him in the booth today. And, but he could be available for the game. I need to find that out. But the rest of the guys are gonna be okay.
Now, when you look back on the film from this week, I guess what stood out about in the second half, what Texas was able to do to kind of consistently score you guys?
Quarterback running the ball, obviously. We didn't get a pass rush. We were gonna, what we call a bull rush with the inside guys, not let him run out the pocket, but it didn't work. And when that doesn't work, you don't have a good pass rush. So, you know, we had some good rushes on the edge, not so good rushes on the edge. We weren't able to get off a block and make the plays on eligible that we did. So that was the first thing. And if we do it again, I'd go ahead and rush them the whole time. We had some mistakes in coverage. I mean, we had some mistakes on inside coverage, how we played coverage. They had some good schemes, but we should have taken it away. We didn't. We misjudged the ball. We made some mistakes in alignment and leverage, and they made some big plays. But you know what? They were a good football team. They had some good athletes. They're going to make plays. It just seemed that we couldn't stop them at all, and nothing was working at the time.
Ed, you mentioned this was a week that you guys were going to work on LSU. What did you see from the running backs, getting them in pass reception and stuff? You guys have been wanting to do that.
Yeah.
How do you think you guys can improve that?
Yeah, we gave up 2 sacks, and we gave up 2 sacks. One we slid the protection, cut it in. He beat us, and one of the protection we had was forced to abort. He didn't abort. He stepped inside. The guy comes around and beats him. So we need to get better in pass protection from our back. But I will say this to you: Clyde had a great block on that 3rd down and 17. That backer was blitzing up the middle. He blocked and gave Joe a little weight to throw the football, and it was the winning play of the game.
Coach, you talked about having explosive plays, and you guys did a lot of that Saturday, but you were also after game 2, 12 for 12 in the red zone, including 9 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Just talk about the play calling from Steve and Joe and just how you guys have been so well in the red zone.
Phenomenal. But I will say this to you, go back and look at the plays. Joe made some throws and some tight windows, man. He was right on the money. So it was a combination of, we work red zone 3 times a week now, and tight red zone. We've spent a lot of time on it as far as scheme wise and what we're gonna do. It's not about what the defense is gonna do. So we have a great plan. We have a great quarterback that can do it. The protection was there. We have receivers that can catch the ball.
Hey, Coach, you're in the middle. If I could ask you kind of a big picture question, can you speak to kind of weathering the storm here, when becoming the head coach? Early on, your numbers were low in certain spots. You had those 2 losses to Mississippi State and Troy your first year. And
Yeah.
your recruiting was good early, but it wasn't what it was the last couple of
Yeah.
years. I just want to know if you can speak to kind of grinding through that
Yeah.
to be where you are right now.
Yeah, you gotta stick to the plan and believe, obviously there were some mistakes made early on. And, but you know what, we got better. We got better. I do believe after the Troy game, we made significant improvement. And, our recruiting has gotten better. I have a great coaching staff right now. It took me 2 years to get the coaching staff the way I wanted it. It took us 2 years to get, some depth on the offensive line. It took us 2 years to get more receivers that can get the ball. It took us 2 years to get the 2 running backs that we need to get in there. And then the big difference that's been in our football team is Joe Burrow, Joe Brady, last year Cole Tracy, and this year Cade York. Those guys have made a significant difference on our football team since I've been here.
Ed, to your left, you called the offense, this was your vision after the game. Did you ever think it could be run as well as the first 2 games?
Been a part of 4 national championship teams, and I just have memories. Great defense, great defensive line, great quarterback. And just have memories of, especially at USC, the way we had 2 Heisman Trophy winners in the backfield, and the way we just operated on offense. And I'm starting to see that. Now I'm starting to see the same routes. I'm starting to see the same execution. I'm starting to see the type of play from the quarterback that we've had from the championship teams. So yes, I envisioned that. I didn't know how long it would take. I think Joe has made the most progress from 1 year to the next that I've seen in a quarterback, and I think he's going to continue to get better.
2 questions. First of all, I know you said you're concentrating on yourself this week, but what attitude do you expect to see Northwestern players come in with? And secondly, is this the kind of game where the red shirt rule, how the guys can play 4 years, comes into play, and you hope to get the opportunity to let your younger kids and even walk-ons get into that?
Every time you play LSU, it's going to be their red letter game, and especially in Northwestern. They're going to play at Tiger Stadium. So they're going to play lights out. They're going to play their best ball. And look, I've been watching TV. I've seen a lot of upsets, and I had one against Troy, so nobody has to warn me again about this. So we're going to be ready. I promise you that. We're going to practice hard. Our team is going to be reminded of that. Yes, we plan on playing guys that would normally not play if we can, but we're going to go in there with our first team, and we're going to be ready to go for 60 minutes. If it's a toe-to-toe game, it's a toe-to-toe game. If not, we'll be prepared.
Ed, 2 questions as well. Do you have any update on Ed Ingram? And then secondly, just the attitude. I caught the interactions between Joe Burrow and his teammates after they scored that touchdown.
Yes.
Just, him even bowing up to you. Just the attitude that kid has to go out and fight.
It's contagious, and his attitude is contagious. The way he is the day of the game, the way he is in the locker room, what he brings. When the game is on the line, he doesn't blink. He comes to the sideline and fires everybody up. But you know what? Big time players make big time plays, big time game. He did it, and so did a lot of guys. So it gives our team a lot of confidence that we have a quarterback that wants the ball in his hands at the end of the game to win the game, and we believe in him. With Ed Ingram, we are hearing things. Nothing's been official. We hear things are going to be positive. We hear that we may hear something this week. I don't know. That thing is going on for such a long time. I don't know till we get the final say so. We can't confirm anything.
And with the pass catching on running backs out of the backfield, how do you think you guys are with them right now, and
Yeah.
how do you think you guys could improve that?
We need to do better. We need to do better. Those swing routes were not very good. They were throwing very fast. There was some checks off some blitzes. So we didn't get what we wanted there. There's a lot of routes that we're not running yet, but obviously we're gonna continue to grow in this offense. I think that, we have some backs that are very good out the backfield, especially John Emery. On some routes, he can be very good. So I think you're gonna continue to see that growth, but we're not where we wanna be yet.
Coach, in the back, the program goes into the game this weekend with 799 wins. What does 800 wins say about the team and its history?
Say it again now.
The team goes into the game this weekend with 799 wins. What would 800 wins say about the team and its history?
Well, first of all, I didn't know that. Thank you for telling me.
Of course.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Anytime you have 800 victories, it means that you are a premier team. You're an elite football team, you're an elite program. It reminds me of all the hard work, all the great players that have played here. I watched LSU all my life, all the great coaches that have been here. So, you know, I tell the guys before the game, man, we gotta represent all the guys that wore the purple and gold before. So thanks for reminding that. 800 victories, that's a big mark.
Ed, right here, can you talk about any hydration problem you had Saturday?
Yeah.
You know, rumors run around that there was no air conditioning in the dressing room. Can you set stuff straight?
Yeah, well, first of all, I called Louisiana Tech, and they told us about it. So we did some things in the dressing room that were better. I mean, it wasn't great, but it was better. At least we had air in there. They didn't have air. We had some blowers in there. So I don't think that caused as much as going out there and having to play 93 plays on defense. I think that had a lot to do with it. Although it was hot, I felt like I think the humidity was like 23%. It wasn't like Louisiana. But our guys did crap up in the second half. We talked about it as a staff, that we need to give some IVs, more IVs at halftime. Didn't seem like nobody needed one at that time. But to prevent that, I think that more guys will get IVs at halftime, obviously with the doctor's approval.
Coach, you mentioned 4 game changers over the past couple seasons and 2 more kickers. Cade York, a freshman, now that you've seen him for 2 weeks, I mean, his headspace on game day, obviously, what he's done, what are your takeaways from kind of watching him?
You know, Cade has a very strong leg. That ball gets up in the air very fast, and the speed of his kick is phenomenal. We brought Bobby April in as a consultant to look at every one of his kicks with Coach Mack. I do believe they made some corrections in his footwork, and the guy works on it very hard. He's a smart young man. To give you an example, and I said this after the game, he didn't practice all week. He had a hip flexor. He didn't practice all week and went through that in front of that crowd. So we feel like we got us a great kicker. Now, obviously, when the game is on the line, you have to make the clutch kick. But 51, 52, 53, maybe 54, I feel good about.
Coach, right next to him, when Justin Jefferson showed up on campus a few years ago, he's probably about 170 pounds soaking wet. People thought he was a walk-on. How have you seen him grow physically, also just in his role? And what was the thinking in moving him to the slot this year?
Well, first of all, Dexter has been a great school for us. And Jordan had come to, Justin had come to camp. Excuse me for calling Justin or Ricky. I want to know if they have another one out there, you know. But Justin came to camp, and I'll never forget, he ran a sluggo route and just wowed everybody. And obviously, it came down to the wire academically, but we saved the scholarship for him, and I'm good friends with Coach Robichaud. They worked hard at Dexter for his eligibility, and I told him I was going to have a scholarship. And it was a good job on the staff of evaluating him. He's come here, he don't say a word, and worked hard, has developed. I think that Mickey Joseph has been phenomenal with him. Mickey's from New Orleans, and him and Mickey are very close. Justin has matured since he's been here. Joe Brady's come in and taught him how to run routes and done a tremendous job with him and catching the football. So I think that, and the bottom line is, he's a competitor. He's tough blocking. He wants the ball in his hand. He's got ice in his veins. I mean, he don't panic.
You talked about what Joe Burrow means to the team. time when there's so many true freshman quarterbacks playing, what's it like to have a fifth-year senior out there that you know can handle himself, maturity?
Poise, confidence. Joe's gonna get it done. No matter what the circumstances are, we got a chance to win with him at quarterback. And that says a lot to our football team and our coaching staff.
Ed, you talked about the pass rush a little bit earlier. It looked like Caleb had a battle throughout that first
Yeah.
half. It looked like Dave had some adjustment to get him inside.
Yeah.
What went into that for the night?
Yeah.
And how you guys are adjusting to
Yeah,
the
we
future?
were gonna go with a four-man rush, but those guys on the edge were free to rush. Or that rush was free to rush, the guys in the middle were pushing, call that cage rush. And, it didn't work, it wasn't very successful. So, and that wasn't because of him, we didn't get enough work inside, it wasn't good, the guy still ran inside, so that wasn't successful for us. So we go back and cut it up and cut loose and rush four, but we had to create some rush, and it was good by Dave. He gave us a different, formation, which changed the protection, and which allows Caleb to come up and inside, and, that opened up the passing lane for us to get, more pressure. And I think that, you saw Michael Divinity get a sack off of a similar look, and it was a good job by Dave. Dave kept on working throughout the game, scheming to get a pass rush, and he finally got a couple of little breaks there at the end.
Hey, Coach, you're in the middle, I have a not-so-serious question for you.
Okay?
If reality TV were around in the early '80s, what would a TV show with you and Bobby Yeager look like?
Oh, man, that's funny. Yeah, I guess it'd be a comedy for sure. No question about that.
You guys share, memories about your?
Well, let's put it this way, I'm glad that reality TV wasn't around.
Ed, here in the middle, Marcel Brooks saw his first action against Texas. What did you see from him? And then Justin Thomas, Neil Farrell, some of those younger guys.
Marcel played very well. That hit he made on the quarterback, showed his speed and his toughness. We're gonna use him more in our green package, especially if Caleb can't play this year, we'll start him in our green package. Let him rush, and Bill Johnson really likes him. Justin, our most athletic inside guy. Justin played very well. You'll see more of Justin Thomas, especially on third down. He has the quicks. He can make a guard miss up and under. We need to put more speed on the field and pass rush, so those guys can help us.
Kind of a similar question, Ed, but who do you want to see, I guess, more reps from, or who do you gotta have your eye on at defensive end with Richard and Glenn out for the week?
Yeah, well, Neil Farrell's been playing very well. He's been playing very well. Braden will get more snaps at defensive end. Hopefully Apple can get more snaps at nose tackle. Tyler's starting at Apple behind him. Jarrell Cherry will be behind Glenn Logan. And then Nelson Jenkins can get some snaps. I think those guys will have to be our defensive line this week, the way it looks.
Coach, Michael Divinity at one point late in the third quarter, I want to say, was talking to the defense about, adding to their legacy when they went back on the field. And he had a team high 10 tackles and just seemed all over the place after that. What do you just think about how he added to his own legacy in that game?
Michael's a tremendous leader. He plays with tremendous heart. We count on Mike. He's a good blitzer. He's a good pass rusher. He made plays all over the field, but believe it or not, when you watch the film, he'll tell you he still needs to get better. This is his first time playing stack linebacker against a big-time team. I do believe he's going to learn how to key, diagnose better, use his hands better, and you'll even see a better Michael Divinity as the season goes on.
At the trio of receivers that you had go over 100 yards this week, after 2 weeks of their production like that, what do you think their potential could be the rest of the year?
I do believe it all depends on the protection. I think that guys are going to figure out that they can't sit there in the zone. They're going to have to come blitzes. We have to protect. They're going to be very creative in what they do. As long as we can protect the quarterback, I think those guys, the sky's the limit for them. They're tremendous football players. They're tremendous athletes. They have a great coach, two coaches, in Mickey Joseph and Joe Brady. They have a great quarterback, Joe Burrow.
Ed, when you have a game like you had Saturday on a national stage like that and played that well, all of a sudden everybody nationally falls in love with you and your program. Joe Burrow's a Heisman candidate. You're the greatest coach ever. This team's on a roll. How do you handle that mentally with your team? And is that something you're allowing your leaders to say, just 1 week, move on?
Yeah, you know, I trust in the leadership and I trust in the process. And there was a time where all those statements were completely opposite. And I didn't believe it. And I don't think our team would. And I told them, I said, it's gonna be hard when they talk good about you and not to believe it. So we have to turn off the Twitter machine, like I always tell them, I know they're gonna read it. But we have to block out the noise. I'm never gonna mention a ranking, I'm never gonna mention an MVP, I'm never gonna mention a candidate about nothing. I'm always gonna talk about team. And I'm always gonna talk about the daily process. Today's Tell the Truth Monday. We talk about what we did well, what we gotta fix, improve, and focus on the fundamentals. So when we get them in the team room, it's all about focusing in on the task at hand and not mention anything else. But it is a natural thing, I think that you need to be guarded about.
Coach, you got time for 2 more, Cobble and then wrap. Last year, I think Steve said the strength of the team was the wide receivers. This year, we're kind of seeing that play out. Is that just the trust of the work that they put in the offseason? You guys are throwing the ball to space, not to the people anymore?
No question. But one of the things that we're doing better this year than we did last year was catching the football. We had 24 out of 25 catches. We had 1 drop. That's phenomenal. And I do believe when you come to practice, you don't see a lot of balls on the ground. Now, the concepts this year are so much different than they were last year. There are 3-level routes, they're forming a triangle, there are guys open, there's reads, and there's adjustments to coverages and everything, and guys are open. It's not like they gotta win one-on-one all the time. So that's what you see in the difference. I think it's a matter of work, catching the ball, concepts, and then having a quarterback to put it all together.
Ed, are there any times when Joe Brady is the one calling down the plays, or is he still strictly in a consulting role the whole time, the whole game?
Oh, no, he calls the plays. Yeah, Steve lets him call plays.
And how do you, listening on the headset and
Yeah.
hearing being part of that process, how do you feel that it works so far?
All good. I mean,
Obviously, it seems good, the results seem good.
it works out perfect. Steve Ensminger has no ego. He don't want any credit. And believe me, he is the architect of everything, man. He gets it done. He's the general in there, but you know what, a good general is gonna let smart people do some stuff. And Joe Brady is talented, smart. When it comes down for him to call a play, Steve lets him call it. He makes that decision, and it worked out fine.
Hey, Coach.
Thank you, guys.